The rule of the business, what we are fixing along with the table. There are two ways we can fix the business rules. One, we can fix the business rules directly on the table at the time of designing the table. Second, we can fix the business rules while programming. Now, long back, all the business rules used to be fixed with programming only. But RDBMS is special. RDBMS is very special there itself, where RDBMS will try to fix a certain number of business rules along with the design of the table. Anything what we cannot fix along with the design of the table, we will fix that using programming. That's what I said, user-defined constraints in PLSQ. So, constraints in databases are used in the form of integrity constraint mechanisms. They are nothing but a rule. Every integrity constraint is nothing but a rule that restricts the values in the database to be exactly according to the requirement of the business. So according to Oracle, we have 6 different types of constraints in declaration. One is the notnull constraint. The next is a unique constraint. The third is the primary key constraint. The fourth is foreign key. The fifth is a check constraint. And the sixth is a ref constraint. Out of these 6 constraints, these 5 constraints will come under the standards of RDBMS. These 5 constraints will come under the concept of RDBMS. And this ref constraint is the only constraint that will come under object-oriented DBMS. So the only constraint I am not going to discuss with you immediately is ref constraint. Be very, very clear about that. Okay? So the only constraint we are not discussing immediately is ref constraint, because until I don't feel that you are looking comfortable to your state of the RDBMS, I don't think we can start working on the concept and composition of the object-oriented DBMS. So out of these 5 constraints that are operating for RDBMS, there are certain things I just want to catch here itself. Say like you are not catching notnull constraint and you are not catching the check constraint, I don't think there is any problem that will happen immediately for you. So, sir, I am not understanding notnull, not a problem. Sir, I am unable to catch check constraint, not an issue immediately. But if you are not catching the unique constraint, by the time I complete my unique constraint discussion, if you are not clear with it, definitely it will create a problem with your primary key. If you are not able to understand primary key, it will definitely create a problem for you with your foreign key. Now, the only point what I want to say finally is, by the time I complete this chapter, if these 3 constraints are not clear to you, if these 3 constraints, by declaration I am not concentrating on, okay, by concept and the rules what I am speaking, if they are not clear to you, every chapter after this chapter will be a problem for you. Later on you should not question me. Every chapter I am making it very clear to you. That's why I said in the previous class, I am saying once again, without keeping this chapter, if I go with my remaining chapters, I will be the most happiest person, because anytime you are not understanding something, I can tell you, don't worry man, after you get your job you will understand. And you will also be very happy. But this chapter will dictate your success and failure as a database developer as far as your career is concerned. Not only as a database developer. So after this course, I am thinking of doing database administration. This chapter will decide many things about your career in database administration. So I am thinking that after completing my Oracle, I want to go and start working with the data warehousing with ETL tools. This chapter will decide whether you can really become a successful ETL developer or not. So after this particular criteria of SQL and PLSQL is complete, I am planning that I will get into reporting side of the business intelligence environment. This chapter will decide how best you can work for reporting side of the industry. Sir, after this particular subject is complete, after this particular course is complete, I am planning that I want to become a SAP or Oracle apps consultant. This chapter will decide what is your career in ERPs also. So finally what I want to tell you is, You take any technology that is existing in the world, directly or indirectly, it is depending upon databases. In all those technologies, your success will be depending upon how best you understand this chapter seriously. It is too early to really accept and believe what I am trying to say. But slowly you will get yourself into experience. So what I always feel in my career is, or in my life is, rather than encountering a failure, it is better we understand that it can be a failure and prepare such that we don't have that failure. So, well in advance, I'm only trying to tell you, you go and settle yourself with any technology that depends on databases. It can be Salesforce in future. It can be SAP. It can be Oracle Apps. It can be Hyperion. It can be any reporting tool that is existing in the world. It can be your IBM's DB2, your Microsoft's NSSQL server. It could be anything like Java. As a Java developer, you work with database side applications using EJB or Hibernate. This chapter will decide all your career. So later on, you don't blame me if the things are going out of your control. So you have to keep all your consciousness and you should start working. That's first thing I want to tell you. Second, now what has happened in last level classes, I don't know. But from now onwards, even if one class is missed by you, now the next class will be a big burden on your process. Because seriously, I'll be switching from one class to the next class. Now maybe by following your material you can catch up men, but my discussion, what I had in the class is lost. So when you are in the live discussion, you'll understand what I'm speaking very effectively. So now actually your career towards your database begins. So from here, start calculating your journey. So you need to just understand the importance of these three constraints, because these three constraints will make you understand any project of any size. Your database project is of 20 tables or your database project is of 20,000 tables. If these three constraints are clearly running in your brain by rules, you can understand any project of any size. And second thing is confidence. First thing is these constraints, if you can adapt them very perfectly, you'll get a great lot of confidence, trust me. And that confidence only will make you work in the coming days automatically as I'm taking you to more critical implementations. So, I only request you to be more concentrative than what you were previously. Now, whenever you declare a constraint can be declared in two styles. One is column level declaration, the next is table level declaration. So, column level declaration means just watch the pseudo style of the code, okay? I'm not exactly creating the table, I'm just trying to give you the pseudo style. We are saying create table name. Now in that table name place, any table in your project can come. Then I am going with my column name 01 and I am saying data type, and then I am going with the size. All these days after the column name and the data type and size, we used to keep the comma. Yes or no? Now, if you have a rule, if you are having any rule that is dictating the data in that particular column how it should be, then without keeping the comma, giving minimum one space, I am making it very clear, giving minimum one space, you are declaring your constraint keyword. Constraint is a keyword from Oracle. You are giving the constraint name and then you are giving the constraint type what Oracle is providing you. Now I am declaring my rule along with the column or not along with the column. Along with the column. This is called as column level or inline style declaration. Okay? This is called as column level or inline style declaration of the constraint. Now you just watch very carefully. There's another way. I'm saying column name 02 And once again I'm saying data type, then I'm going with size. Now we can declare the constraint immediately by giving one space. If you feel that is looking too lengthy to really recognize, in such cases what you can do is press the enter key, come to the next line. Did I keep any comma here? No. So if you did not keep a comma and you came to the next line, SQL understands it is continuation of the previous column. And now here you are saying once again, constraint is a keyword, constraint name, and then you are giving constraint type. Are you getting me? Now, this constraint is declared along with the column or not along with the column? Along with the column only, okay? Because in the next line, don't think that it's not along with the column. It is along with that column only. So, constraint can be declared either in the next line of the column or in the same line along with the column. That's what you should finally think. So, this is also nothing but called as column level or inline style. Is that point clear to you? Now, let us understand one thing. Once this particular constraint declaration has been completed, I am keeping comma. Comma means what? I am going for another column. Yes or no? Now, just for your convenience, I can have any number of columns like this. Now let us say like I am declaring one more column by saying column name 0n. Okay, it means nth column. I am saying data type and size. Okay. Now till now we had one rule, man. After the last column we should keep a comma, we should not keep a comma. We should not keep a comma. Yes or no? Now we are changing that rule now. I am keeping a comma for last column. When you keep a comma for last column, you are telling your Oracle that you are about to declare table level constraints. Is that point clear to you? You are telling your Oracle that you are about to declare table level constraints. So, table level constraints are nothing but constraints that are declared at the end of the table. I am making my words very clear. Table level constraints are nothing but constraints that are declared at the end of the table. Are you catching the point? That means after all columns are declared, then we will declare the table level constraints. So you just watch here. Once again I am saying constraint. I am saying constraint name. Every constraint has a name. We will discuss those things. Don't worry. Then I am saying constraint type. And here we will give the column name to which this constraint belongs to. At column level, we only give the constraint type. We don't give any column name because this constraint is along with this column. So it understands that the constraint is for that column only. But at table level, we are declaring the constraint for all the columns. Therefore, this constraint type will have the column name what you have in your table now. In that way, I can have any number of table level constraints. So this declaration is called as table level syntax or out of line style. Are you getting me? Now, once you feel that your columns, your table is totally completed, you will close this bracket and you will come outside. Now, one of the questions that a beginner raises is, sir, column level syntax is better or table level syntax is better? There is nothing like that. If any one type of syntax is the best, Oracle will never provide you both the syntaxes. So Oracle is providing both the syntaxes, means Oracle is telling you, according to your comfort, you declare the constraints in any syntax. Are you catching the point? Be very, very clear about it. That's first thing. Second thing, I've seen some kind of discussions that happen in the markets like table level constraint is faster, column level is slow. These are all trash. Okay? Finally, constraint has to work. Therefore, this all deceit. After great lot of technological revolution has come, everybody is having information with them. Be very clear about it. So technically, where is the criteria? So you have to finally come with your own common sense. Oracle Corporation has never said that table level is better or column level is better. So it is only a convenience you should understand. See, because of the technical revolution, I think information is with everybody, yes or no? Now long back if people want information, what they did? Long back people want some information, what they did? They went kilometers together in the search of a library. Today how many students are seeing library? There are many people that don't know where library is. So these are changing. Today only in the afternoon we were in one workshop, okay? Can you understand what is the basic agenda of the workshop? Siri ko pucho. Point no? Because there are certain point what you should remember here is you are declaring your constraints along with the table, but when your table is getting created, Oracle is keeping tables in one metadata, constraints in another metadata. Now we will start talking about metadata also simultaneously with every topic we are going through. So all the people who are keeping experience and you are coming into your industries, you have to remember the metadata concepts also, what I am going to discuss time and again, because 15% of your interview, if you are attending with experience, will be definitely towards metadata, which is definitely neglected. Therefore, when we are creating a table along with the constraints, when the table is getting created by Oracle, your table is in one metadata and your constraints are in another metadata. So, when we are declaring the constraint, if we do not give any name to the constraint, okay, if I am not giving the name to the constraint, Oracle will automatically generate a name and then it will save this constraint within the metadata. Now here a beginner will ask, sir, when Oracle provides a name to the constraint, why I should provide it? It's a very genuine question. Now, today you are creating tables, man, that's okay. A project can contain how many tables? What is your opinion? This is one question, okay? There are many students who will come and tell me, sir, he asked me how many tables are there in my project. In your project, how many tables are there? How I will not tell me. Your project, you should know. Second thing, that question is asked. Is that question is having anything to do with your experience? No. So certain questions will ask only to check your confidence levels. Can you tell me what is the size of your database? Now, size of a database has nothing to do with your experience. But why he is asking you? Somewhere he is feeling that you are not experienced. If you are an experienced person, you simply say, what is the size of your database? Sir, I think around 2 terabytes it is there. Are you sure? So by the time I am talking to you, another half a terabyte would have increased also. The interviewer will understand, this guy is looking arrogant now. Okay? Then he's saying like half a terabyte will increase. Yes sir, my company, my client is having almost all 25,000 different outlets throughout the world in 120 countries. 24/7, 365 days they will be working. A single minute number of clients on my client's database server is more than 25 lakhs. Are you sure? Yes sir, I am very much sure. Maybe by the time I am talking to you, another 5 lakhs have added also. You will understand, okay. I am not interviewing this guy is interviewing me now. Some questions you should know how to handle. He is asking how much is the size of the database. This guy will be thinking, Are yaar, Amirpet mein bola hi nahi humko. Don't come for Amirpet once again, okay? And students who are ignorant, they'll come back to Amirpet only. They'll go and ask the institute. I want to join Oracle. Yes, we have in 25 years plus faculty, 400 batches are completed, all are recruited, job is guaranteed, 50% discount, Dasra festival is coming, we will give you some discount also. And then this guy will ask, will you teach what is the size of database? Now, Amirpet institutes are very, very famous now. It's like, that is where our specialty is. And it is the latest version which has started yesterday only, which is another Oracle with size of database. You don't know what it is. Then this guy will think that Oracle with size of database version has come now. You will join automatically. Don't do all that stuff now. How many tables are there in your project? Simply telling this, I think I was working with 5,000 tables in my module, and my overall project is having 1.5 lakh tables as far as the knowledge is concerned. Today morning when I came, we had a meeting, and they took a decision that by evening they want to get another 200 tables. That answer is enough. Your interview will automatically understand who you are. Okay? They'll think that this is not coming from Andirpet, it's coming from ITech City. Some answers you should know how to give. So, why I'm telling you all this is, imagine your project is really having 500 tables. In each table, average, let us say, 50 columns are there. Each column is having one constraint, let us say. So, 50 into 500. So, totally, how many constraints are there? I think calculation is well known to you. Each constraint will have one name definitely. You did not give the name of the constraint. Who is giving? Oracle is giving. Oracle, what name it is giving, why it will come and tell you? Oracle generates these names automatically. So problem is not in creating the tables. Tomorrow maintenance has come. When maintenance is coming, which name of the constraint belongs to which table on which column in your particular database will become a nightmare for you. So we have to give our names. So when we give our names, we follow certain standards. There are, see, different companies can have different standards. Let us not worry about. Some universal standard will be there. So when we give the name, it becomes easy for us in maintenance of the tables in near future. Therefore, as a student, I can always tell you, no, you don't need to give the name of the constraint. But that's a student level thinking. But professionally, if you are asking me, definitely it is good to give a constraint name from our side rather than leaving it to Oracle. And at any point of time, two constraints can never have the same name within the same user. Okay? One user can have many tables, one table can have many columns, but within one user, no two constraints have the same name. So by giving the name of constraints, we should always see that our constraint names are not getting duplicated. So how we can do that? We have some standards for that. Let us not worry about it. Rather than depending on the Oracle given constraint name, a good developer always declares his own constraint names such that he has no fundamental problems in maintenance of the database at the later stages. Whenever you are giving a constraint name, we definitely use, I'm making my point clear, whenever you give your constraint name, you definitely use this constraint keyword.
And controlling temperature
See, we are using this constraint keyword means you are telling Oracle that I will give the constraint name.
The refrigerator is designed
Are you getting the point now? So these are very simple things. When we are taking the examples, I'll definitely follow much of the things practically you concentrate. Constraint keyword can be used when you are creating the tables, when you are altering the tables, when you are creating the views, and when you are altering the views. And remember one thing, you cannot have constraints for all the type of columns with all the type of data types. You can never declare your constraints for user-defined objects, for nested tables and arrays, and the ref and log columns that are existing in your system. Sir, why? According
This
to
refrigerator comes with
object-oriented
1 year warranty on
implementation,
product and 5 years
objects
on
should
compressor.
follow the rules,
You also get to
not
choose
the
from
class.
various EMI and exchange
So
offers
these
on
all
Amazon.in.
concepts will come
You will
under
also coordinate with the brand and
object-oriented
take care of the installation and demo.
But anywhere you have an object-oriented implementation data type, you cannot declare any constraints. Be very, very clear about that. So then how the method, how the quality can be maintained? Through programming, you have to maintain the quality, not by design. So the first constraint we are taking is notnull constraint. Now before I get into my constraint, I want to tell you one simple thing, how the agenda goes till we complete all the constraints. I will take the constraint type, notnull is the constraint type. I'll give you the definition of the constraint type. Within the definition, we'll understand what is its rule. Then we will check how the constraint can be declared. So I will give you the definition, I'll take the explanation, I'll pick up one example, and I will test the constraint. After that, we'll go to the next one. All these things will be happening simultaneously, continuously. Whenever you are working in any project, your style of the process also should be in the same way. The only difference is definition, explanation will not be there, but the remaining creation and testing will be there. So when you deal with the not null constraint, it is very clearly telling that on whichever column you declare a not null constraint, you are very clearly saying that in that column null should not be implemented. So in your design, any column is mandatory by nature. That column can contain nulls or cannot contain nulls. Cannot contain nulls. So when you say that that particular column cannot contain nulls, then definitely you are declaring a not null constraint on that. So not null constraint should be defined only at column level, it cannot be at the table level. If you do not declare any constraint internally, Oracle is following the null constraint, therefore any column without a not null constraint will capture the null values or null status. To satisfy the column that is declared with the not null constraint, the only way is provide the value. If you don't give the value, it rejects it. Null or not null constraints cannot be declared on view constraints. When we come to views, you'll understand, don't worry. Null or not null constraints cannot be declared on any attribute of an object in object-oriented implementations. This is a basic syntax you can just watch here. We say create table, table name. This is your column name, data type, width, and this is how you declare your not null constraint. Now watch very carefully. I declared only the constraint or I gave the name also. I gave only the constraint. According to classrooms, this is correct, but according to industry, this is definitely not accepted. By standards, it's not correct. By syntax, it's absolutely correct. Be very, very clear about it. Now, you just want the next case. You're going with the column name, data type and width. Now, you can just watch here. You're having constraint, constraint name, and not null. This is more perfect way of declaring the constraint. One column can have only one not null constraint. On one table, you can have any number of not null constraints for each column according to your necessity. But every column should have not null constraint is not a rule. Now, once your basic syntax is clear, that's how your table can look like. So you can just watch here. We are creating a table called as students. Then we are having the student number, data type. Now this is the constraint keyword. This is the name of the constraint what we are giving, and this is the constraint type. The moment I declare this constraint, I am telling the end user that in this column at any point of time nulls cannot be collected. In that way, you can declare every column with not null or few of the columns with not null, depending upon the analysis that is done upon your particular columns by your specification. You just watch very carefully. This is join date. I declared the data type and I declared not null constraint. Did I declare any name for this constraint? No. So this is accepted by syntax, but is not good in practice. Now, when I am taking my examples, I want you to concentrate on one more thing now. I will pick up examples in such a way that finally you should understand the rule of the constraint. Therefore, we'll take very generic tablesmen. Generic in the sense, table names and column names will never reflect anything in real time as an object. Now, if you are understanding the concept, keeping that concept in your mind when you get into your projects, you remove my table names and you remove my column names and you apply the style of constraint with your table name of your project and with your column names in the project. The constraint will work as it is. Now, why I am not taking specific table names is the problem with students from here onward. What happens is, I took an example, let us say create table patient, and I give all the constraint names and columns in patient ID, patient name. Student will fix in that example his brain. If somebody removes that patient table and he gives another table, he cannot understand what's happening. So, from this chapter, you should develop one more skill. Listening to the example in the class, you should understand your subject, you should understand your concept, you should understand your implementation. Once you leave this particular class and you start practicing, you should feel confident that any table in the world, I can work in any project because my concept is clear. You don't make that change slowly, definitely you will never know where you are failing. I told 01 NM. Now, in the place of this table, many people are there of the constraint. You are a student, you are not for you also. Is we have irritation notnull constraint for the first time. Notnull constraint falls under which category of integrity? 2 days I was spending time to learn. Domain integrity. Okay, notnull falls under domain integrity. Be very clear about that. Okay, that's how you should correlate my concept with your practicality. Now, when you say describe, are you understanding all these days in other tables why this came now? So whenever you see this, you should understand that your senior has created a table with a notnull constraint. Be very clear about that. Now, the next thing is testing. Insert into. After creating the constraint, definitely as a developer we should test the table, check our constraints are working, then only hand over that to the next level developers. Are you catching the point? Be very clear. You have to submit your testing document to your next level developers compulsorily. In classrooms, all these rules are not necessary, but I hope at least few people are keeping experience in your resume. So be clear. Now, I am just trying to say SAMP ID, SAMP name, SAMP date. Then you just watch, I am saying values 1, sample 01, sysdate. Are we following the rules or we are against the rules? Following the rules. Therefore, the data is accepted. Now, you just watch carefully what happens. I am giving this as null. Now, I am giving this value as 2. Now, we are going as per the rule of the constraints or against to the rule now? Against to the rule. With how many columns? Only one column. Be very clear, when you are sending any data into your table against to at least one constraint, Oracle immediately rejects it. So, notnull constraint throughout your life, if your database is Oracle, it will always gives you minus 1400, cannot insert null. These error numbers, now it's time you should remember them. By the time you are coming to PLSQL, how many error numbers you remember, according to that your professionalism will start. Now, what error numbers you remember, I leave it to you. Every time you get an error, you should remember the error number and situations. For people keeping experience, average around 50 error numbers regularly that will happen when you practice, you should keep it in your mind, because you have definitely one chapter that is dedicated in PLSQL for this. If you don't start here, that chapter will be out of your control later on. And you have to answer few questions in interview rooms only on error numbers. So interviewer very casually asks you, what is minus 1400 error in Oracle, can you tell me? That looks like a question for you. But what you should answer here? Can you tell me what you should answer here? The whole constraints topic you have to answer. The whole notnull constraints concept you have to answer. And if your experience is 3+ or 4+, not only that, you should even explain the design principles of the database in real time. How to identify a column should not go with this minus 1400 in real time project by analysis. There's a great lot of work according to experience that's increasing, I'm telling you. So, these errors you have to catch up. It's not for fun, I am doing the error and I am talking to you. And finally, I am telling once again, even if you violate one constraint in that record of the table, your total record will be cancelled. The total record. So now your table is having intelligence of understanding what is mandatory and what is optional or not. Yes or no? Now you just watch carefully once again. I am saying null. Accepted or rejected? Come on now. Rejected. Why? My second column is also having not null. What is the message? What is the message? Same minus 1400. See, this will not change when the rule is same. That's what I told you. These error numbers are standard error numbers from Oracle. Once in your life you can remember those error numbers and the situations, it's enough. Start that from your own practice. Seriously, I'm telling you. Now, Oracle is testing every data that is going inside your table is looking valid or not. Yes or no? Now, once again, I am giving this data with sample 02 and then I am saying null. Accepted or rejected? Accepted. Why? The third column is an optional column. So Oracle has now clear intelligence in your table for which column you clear about. So not null as a constraint, it will never allow element that participates in search is generally called as what? According to data structures, that element that is participating in the search is generally called as what? Key. We call that as a key. You go back and recollect your programming in C language, what you have done in your engineering first years. When you are implementing searching techniques in C language or sorting techniques in C language, we used to declare one variable called as key variable. That variable name will be key. And that variable always will be used for putting the value into that variable what we want to search in the data structure. So key is nothing but a very common terminology. That key is indicating that this column will always contain unique data. Therefore, this column is more suitable for what? Key. Key means what? For the sake of searching, for the sake of sorting. That is the meaning there. Therefore, unique constraint, unique key constraint is not there. Key is an additional suffix we are keeping only to give that strength to understand. Is that point clear to you? Now, you can have unique with a single column. You can have unique with a combination of columns. Therefore, unique is of two types. Single column uniqueness of the data, combination based uniqueness of the data. Single column unique is not difficult to understand, but combination has some small confusion. If you can eliminate that confusion of combination based uniqueness, I can definitely tell you 30% of your complications in understanding some areas is lost. So put your effort here itself. Therefore, Oracle provides you or any database will provide you how to declare combination of columns as uniqueness. When you declare combination of columns as uniqueness, we call it as composite uniqueness. Are you getting me? When we declare combination of columns for uniqueness, we call it as what? Composite. Now, whenever you declare a composite constraint, catch my words carefully. Whenever you are declaring